Hello there folks, this is Uncle Troy with another C-Word update. For those of you who aren't keeping track, the C-Word updates are where I talk about my battle with cancer. It's not one of the happy-go-lucky fun and games videos, so if that's what you're looking for, I won't be offended if you click away. So update for this week, I went to the doctor this week, saw an actual doctor's visit, actually nurse practitioner, but you know, you don't get to see the doctor every time. I get to see her about one out of every 3 or 4 times I go visit. And I reported that the numbness and tingling in my hands and feet, which normally went away after a few days of my chemotherapy treatment, has not gone away. And that's going to require some explanation. I'm currently on 3 chemotherapy drugs. The first is oxaliplatin, which is basically a poison for the cancer. It kills cancer cells. It also causes nerve damage. And unfortunately, it's caused numbness and tingling and sensitivity to cold. I've talked about not being able to drink or eat anything cold for a few days after receiving that. And the numbness and tingling in my fingers and toes usually went away after a few days. But the last time I had oxaliplatin, by the time I received the next dose, it had not gone away. So I reported that to the doctor, or nurse practitioner, and he checked with the doctor, and they decided I was scheduled to have one more treatment of oxaliplatin today. They canceled that, discontinued that. The second drug I'm on, something called 5-FU. This is a poison which kills cancer cells, and it makes me just feel bad. And it's so toxic that instead of just giving it to me at the cancer center, they hooked me up to a take-home pump, and I'm currently hooked up right now. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I'm currently hooked up right now and receiving a slow metered dosage of this over the next 2 days. And that's the one that makes me feel bad and just hurt all over, just not feel right. Fatigue, malaise, I think is a word somebody used. And basically it just makes me feel bad, and you know, given my druthers, I'd rather that be the one that we discontinue. But because that's the one that keeps me feeling bad right up till the day that it's time to have treatments again. You know, that's about the day I'm feeling good again. I was feeling pretty good this morning before I went in and got hooked up to everything. But they're continuing that. And the third drug is something called Avastin, and it works differently than the others. It doesn't poison the cancer cells. Actually, what it does is when the body needs new blood vessels, say an area is healing or a cancer is growing and needs more nutrients, the body releases a enzyme or chemical or something that causes more blood vessels to be grown in that area to provide more nutrition. You know, if you're healing from a surgery or something, like I am from this, can you see that there? That's where they put the port in that I'm currently hooked up receiving the infusion. And when the body's healing, it needs new blood vessels, so it releases that chemical and causes new blood vessels to be grown. Well, a cancer, wanting more nutrition so it can grow faster, will also release that same chemical, and Avastin works to counteract that. So basically it starves the tumors. The cancer doesn't get the nutrition it needs, and it can't grow as fast. So that's the way Avastin works. And we're still getting the Avastin. I'm still getting the 5-FU. We went today for treatment, and because I was only getting the Avastin and the starting of the 5-FU instead of getting also the oxaliplatin, it went faster. I got out earlier. My brother had to come home or come back to the thing earlier than expected. While we were there at the doctor's office, it snowed, totally unpredicted. It was not in the weather forecast. Unforecasted, I guess I should say. But we got to see a little snow, so I gave everybody a little cheer up. Just a 5-15 minute snowstorm, which didn't lay and went away just as quickly as it came. But that's the way it is here in Tennessee. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute. What else? I finally heard back from my long-term disability people. It's the same people that handle the short-term disability, and the short-term disability is pretty easy. They gave me a sheet of paper and I signed at the bottom saying yes, I'm disabled, and sent it in, and they started sending me money. For the long-term disability, they sent me a packet. I swear it was that thick. I had about 8 pages to fill out for myself, and then my employers had to fill out about 4 pages, and my doctor, primary doctor, that's handling my cancer treatment, had to fill out a form. It was about 4 pages. And in spite of the fact that we sent everything in that they could, they immediately said, we need more information, and sent out for requests for my doctor and from my employer. Nothing came to me, although the letter I got today in the mail, as soon as I got back from the cancer treatment, basically says, on December 10th we requested more information and we're still waiting for that. And I'm like, not for me, you didn't. But my understanding is that they finally have the information they need, and my case is going up for review this week in front of the medical review board or medical review officer or something like that. And so I should hear something about my long-term disability, because money's getting tight. If I'm a little dark, it's because one of the bulbs in my machine, or one of my lights that I use to brighten up this area of the room while I'm recording, is blue, and I can't afford a new one. I'm working, if the editing of this video is kind of just haphazard or lackadaisical, it's because I'm working on a little monitor instead of my big widescreen, because it went out the same week as the light bulb. And I usually don't mention names, but I'm going to say, when I called up Chase, the bank that handles some of my credit cards, and explained my situation, they were very understanding and acted like I wasn't the first person in the world to have sudden unexpected medical bills and not be able to make my credit card payment this month. And they immediately, put my account on hold, said, when you get an income, let us know, we'll call us up, we'll set up payments, and everything's just fine. So Chase Bank, thumbs up. Citibank, on the other hand, acted like I was the first person in the world to ever get cancer. Like I was the first person in the world to ever say, I can't make my payment this month because I have no income. And continually, like, how much can you pay? How much are you getting from disability? And I'm like, I don't have disability yet. I've applied for it. I'm not getting it yet. And, well, how much can you pay this month? And I said, I can pay zero. What little money I have is earmarked for medical expenses. And so Citibank gets a thumbs down. And when I get money, I guess you can guess who I'm going to be sending money to first. If I have enough, if the disability payments is enough to handle my insurance and a little extra to pay off my debts. I've been very proud, never, years and years, never missed a payment, always, paid on time, always paid more than the minimum. And now that this has happened and I've not been able to work for over 6 months now, money's getting tight. So I'm hoping the disability people can get me through soon, and I hope you don't have to hear me griping about money again in the future. Okay, so to recap, we've discontinued the oxaliplatin for a while because it was causing nerve damage. That may be permanent. I may have numbness and tingling in my fingertips for the rest of my life, or it may go away after a while. I'm hoping it goes away. There's a possibility it can go either way. We're continuing with the 5FU, which is the one that makes me feel bad, which is why I'm recording this now that I've just been hooked up to it, because here in a day or two I won't be worth anything. And if I don't get this edited and out today, it may be a week before I feel up to editing again. And we're continuing the Avastin, which is the one that prevents you from growing new blood vessels and also causes you to heal slower. I haven't mentioned lately my perianal abscess that I went into the hospital with, and they had to have emergency surgery to basically cut open a couple of drainage ditches in my butt to let all the infection and whatnot drain out. That is still draining, it's still hurting, it's still very slow to heal. And today it's doing pretty well, and I'm sitting up. Of course, now you can't see that I'm sitting on a bed with a pillow under my butt, because if I sit too long it starts draining and hurting more, and that's just uncomfortable and unpleasant for everybody. But it is slow to heal, partly because it's in a part of the body that's healed slowly anyway. Your butt apparently doesn't heal very quickly, and partly because of the Avastin and other chemotherapy drugs are slowing down my body's ability to heal. So that's the other reason why I haven't been editing and making many videos, is that I have to sit in front of my computer for that, and if I sit too long it hurts. So I spend most of my day laying on my side watching television or reading a book or anything that requires me to lay on one side or the other, even flat on my back with my head elevated, you know, propped up with pillows, whatever, is enough pressure on my butt to cause it to start draining again. So we generally try to avoid that. So, okay, all my drugs, my butt, I think I've covered everything. Thank you for the 10 thumbs up. Show your support. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I really appreciate it. People keep asking what they can do for me, and all I can say is thoughts and prayers. Just think kind thoughts of me, and if you're a praying type, pray for me. I don't care if the studies show it makes no difference, because it makes a difference to me knowing that people care about me. And that makes me feel better, and I think that makes me get over this sooner. All right, this is Uncle Troy signing out. Please have a good night.